the Domed In Pod. We're recording this Saturday night, little college football week 0. We got Stanford, Hawaii on the telly. I have to say, I really hope our season doesn't start like Hawaii's. That's miserable.
I mean, it's been ugly. It's been ugly for the Rainbow Warriors, that's for sure.
You're watching Domed In Cuse, the quick hit podcast for real Orange fans. If you love Cuse sports, hit like and subscribe. Let's go Orange.
For sure.
So, we're watching, the first day of college football. It's been a pretty good day. Kansas State losing to Iowa State over in Ireland. Dan Mullen barely surviving against an FCS team with UNLV. Kansas currently just shit pumping Fresno State. And then this late night Hawaii Stanford game, which isn't as late night as I was maybe
No.
hoping it would be. I was hoping for that 10 p.m. start to have something to do tonight. But we are seeing an early start, and Hawaii doesn't seem to have showed up.
I mean, this is not fair to them to make them kick off at, what is this, like a 1:30 kickoff in Hawaii there? I mean, that's pretty unheard of. But yeah, it's been a day. That game in Ireland was sloppy, I think, but it was entertaining. It was good to get a taste of college football back. I am
It would have been great
happy.
if they painted the field.
Yeah, right. Or use paint that could withstand rain, maybe, Like is that an America only thing, evidently? I didn't realize that. But yeah, there's
Let's
one
talk
major
some
takeaway.
Crushing a Six-Pack episode. Uh, Me being 1-0 on the scoreboard, 1-0. I'm gonna get to go first here. Um, and so the reigning champion's gonna get to go first. Snake draft. We're gonna do our 3 keys to Syracuse having a successful season. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, and 1-1 off the board. I think it's a no-brainer. It has to be quarterback play. Uh, you know, Quarterback play. It's going to be Steve Angeli. If we can get good quarterback play, if we could see someone come in like what Kyle did last year, where Kyle came in and he played excellent for Syracuse, kind of coming from a big name program and really elevating the game of the Syracuse offense. That's going to be super important. So if we get that, I think that's the first key to a successful season for Syracuse.
Totally. I mean, there's no real rebuttal to that, I think. Obviously, it's the most important position on the field. It's our biggest hole to replace from last year's team.
Obvious 1-1 choice.
Exactly. So, uh, obviously, Angeli's got the first crack at this, so we'll see how this goes here. On my end, I think I'm gonna. I don't know if this stands uh, anywhere near the quarterback position, but I think this is honestly the biggest question mark on the team, quite frankly, right now, and that is who the defensive play caller is going to be, and who rises to the top at the linebacker position because
I had
uh,
linebacker play on my list. I had
and
linebacker
that's
play on my
and
list.
just linebacker play in general. That's just biggest question mark I think on the roster, candidly, right now. Uh, I don't think we've really gotten a crystal clear picture on who has a leg up. I think we know McDonald is going to get snaps. We have an idea Sparrow's going to get some snaps. We think Gary Bryant's going to get some snaps. It's a really tough position group to predict, and it's the one that we probably have the least proven talent at right now. And we really, really need somebody to step up there, or a couple guys, to be honest.
Only natural when you lose, program stalwarts like Marlo Wack and Justin Barron, who played that
Totally.
position for us last year. So I think that's a natural question because you're replacing 2 great players who
Guys,
left
we're
the
fighting for
program.
NFL
So I
spots.
think that's an obvious reason. What's your next pick?
Next pick after that, I think just generally we have to be better to stopping the run on defense this year. I think that honestly, it was embarrassing at times last year. And yes, we've had a ton of roster turnover, and that's to be expected as we're changing coaches and systems. Uh, but there were some performances last year from that defense just that are inexcusable in future years under a staff. Like, you cannot have that game against Boston College where they were not a threat to throw the ball in that game. Um, I think we're going to be a lot better. We're much bigger. We've got a lot better just experience there too. We've got a lot of bigger, older guys that we brought in the portal. That's just got to be a big area of improvement on the defense. We just have to be better against the run. And I think we are going to be, but that's just going to be a big thing early in the season. I think we can really measure a lot of the defense's progress is going to be how we show up in the run game.
I didn't have that on my list, to be honest, but I think it's a fair call out. We're gonna need to stop the run. It's definitely something that needs to be improved from last year, but we'll see how we go again. We're deeper on the defensive line, so we love that. But yeah, I understand the one there. Um, for me, I've got two more here. Um, Turnover margin. This is my third
Great
one on
one.
the list. If we want to have a successful season, having a positive turnover margin, I think you could say that for any team, not just Syracuse, but having a positive turnover margin is extremely important. I'm surprised that made it back here. I was surprised you didn't maybe pick up on that one. That to me was a key for Syracuse.
That's typically a key number. We'll call that a key number in the game of football. Is that old turnover margin? I mean, I can't disagree with that, to be honest. And I think obviously E-Rob has talked about a priority and making sure we take the ball away. And frankly, when Cuse struggled last year, it was when we had issues holding on to the ball, which is not all that uncommon. But yeah, we've got to win the turnover battle. That's for sure.
Building off that, key numbers that I think are going to be important. Uh, Third down conversions. So last year, Syracuse was number 8 in the country on successful third down conversions on offense. And if you think about it, Kyle McCord made a lot of plays on third down, and Jackson Meeks had a lot of big catches on third down, tough catches. Trevor Pena, we would find him open. Gadsden made plays, and all that's good. But I think the most important thing is last year, I really felt like the offense stayed on schedule in a lot of games, right? So we were a lot more often in 3rd and 5 and shorter than we were. And, Kyle had the ability to bail us out on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 if we got there. But I will say that last year I felt like we were really on schedule a lot of times, which led to us being able to convert easier third downs. So, two things that go with that is who's going to kind of step up in that Jackson Meeks role where Jackson made a lot of tough third down contested type catches. And then can we stay on schedule in the downs that come before third down to be able to have a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, I see that. I'd argue that's two different points: staying on schedule and converting third downs. But we can go
third
ahead.
down conversion.
We can go ahead. We can give you. We'll let that stay blurry for you. We'll give you third down conversions there.
On the ledger, convert at third down.
Fair.
Like we did last year. That's the key. How we get there, there's multiple ways how
we'll have the court reporter strike the rest of that from the record, though, please.
So I think I've eliminated multiple options from but I've taken only one option.
This is fair. No, I think you're on the nose with that, though. We were obviously really good on third downs last year. That's what happens. You have a veteran quarterback, veteran receiving group that just has chemistry. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. My last key, and I think honestly, this is one I'm a bit surprised this has gotten this far too, because candidly, we had times last year where this phase of our team was the worst I've ever seen at Syracuse, and that is overall special teams play just has to improve. That is, we brought new coach. Last year just could not continue in that phase of the ball. I mean, between block punts, penalties, kick returns, I mean, we just botches in the field goal game. I mean, just everything that could have gone wrong on special teams last year went wrong in pretty much the first 6 games, and I think this is an area that drove Fran nuts last year. He's a good guy, didn't want to throw the coach under the bus last year. There's a reason why that was the first change made in the offseason. It was the most glaring, obvious change that had to be made last year, which was we cannot just throw away that phase of the ball again this year. And so I expect us to be much more disciplined on that side of the ball. I think that's going to be an emphasis, hopefully, moving forward with Fran. I think that that's just not going to be an area that we're going to neglect anymore. But yeah, so special teams play is my last.
Not on my list, but I like the pick, and I agree that that has to be an area for Fran that Fran has to emphasize. So I totally agree. Some honorable mentions of stuff that I wanted to say. I have two that I really wanted to say. Uh, red zone conversions. I personally think red zone conversions are a big stat in college football because you need to get points when you're in the red zone. You know, we even saw it today with Iowa State, their first possession, like on the 1 yard line, just tossing it back to the running back, him fumbling from the 1 yard line, which was a crazy call, and then crazy that they did that right away in the game. And I think stuff like that can really kill you if you don't, you know, keep yourself honest there. And then my another honorable mention I had Yazin Willis having a breakout year because you know, where do we step up? I think we've got really deep receiver rooms, really deep running back rooms. You have Willis and Nixon and Malachi James. Like you have guys who just bring different things. You know, like Malachi James, elite speedster. Will Nixon, you know, veteran leadership and know-how and all the moxie and stuff that you want. And then you have Yazin Willis, who I think just has ultimate high potential in the running back game and can kind of do everything. So that to me is like a couple other things that I was thinking about. Anything else you have?
No, I think those are good ones. No, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else that jumps to mind per se. I mean, I think there's just like we have some intriguing guys that, obviously are set up to take the next leap. I think Willis is in that group. I think seeing what we're going to get out of a potential two-way guy like Samuel this year is going to be great. I think honestly we hit around my key things. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I want good, strong quarterback play. I want us to be able to be strong in the trenches. I want us to just win the turnover battle, and I think overall we're just pacing real well headed into the season here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get the season started.